So, Rostermania, we've got probably the biggest amount of drama that we're looking at right now. Pred gets dropped. Ook gets picked back up. He's now back on Optic Texas. And the Green Wall kind of implodes on itself right now, which is really funny. And then, but this is probably the biggest roster drama out there right now. Is like nobody's even talking about Lucky getting benched over, like Lucky getting benched and Super getting picked up from Miami. This is what everybody's talking about right now. Which I do want to look at this, looking at Optic's performances going into, like, coming out of Major 1, going into Major 2. So, like, looking at all of this stuff, I want to look at Huke's performances, and then I want to look at Pred and look at their comparisons. And I'm going to be honest, this is probably not going to be a good choice. Why are his stats looking so different? So, looking at Pred, why are none of Pred's matches are showing up properly? Okay. So, looking at Major 2, let's look at the qualifiers. A 1.0 against FaZe, a 1.04 against Rocker, a 0.79 against Carolina, a 0.89 against Miami, a 0.73 against Toronto, a 0.77 against LA Thieves, a 1.4 against Gentlemate, against LAG. Then you go into the major, he puts a 1.1 against Rocker, a 1.0 against Toronto. In the minor, forget Vegas, he puts a 0.89 against Toronto. Honestly, for somebody at Pred's level, not good. You're a world champion. I know he did take Major 1 off for some various reasons, whether they're personal or whatever, but that's not, like, you're coming back, you're playing on Optic Texas, so your standards are going to be high, especially since you won champs last year. And it just ain't happening right now. Like, did not happen the way it needed to. Now, if we had Major 1 Pred, he played 2 matches, but still, 1.1 versus 1.2. Now we look at Huke. Okay? In the Major 1 qualifiers, he played 2 games. Put out a 1.39, put out a 1.37. In Major 1, puts out a 1.1, a 1.0, a 1.05. Now, I understand stats are always going to look different. When you look at some of the fundamental issues that were going on with Optic in Major 1 and in Major 2. Do I think Huke is a saving grace for Optic Texas? No. I do not believe that he is a saving grace for Optic going into Major 3. That's not going to happen. But in comparison to Pred, AG did not play to his standard of a world champion. To be fair, all of Optic did not play to their standards of a world champion. Nobody did. It's why they dropped Kenny. It is why they dropped Skies. And at this point, Optic's main choices, that's why they dropped Kenny and why they dropped Pred. They needed to make a change. The questions, the choices that Optic had to make, and I don't know if this was the best choice. I don't know. I'm not in Optic's camp. I don't know their thought processes. I don't know who Shotzi wants to play with. I don't know who Dashy wants to play with. Those are the 2 people that they're probably looking for how they're going to be making changes. But something needed to change. And their choices were dip into challengers, pick up Challengers talent, or re-sign Huke. And that's what they decided to do. They re-signed Huke. They decided to pick up Skies for Major 2. That's what they did. They didn't have the Major 2 results that they wanted. But so they made changes. I don't know if this is going to be the thing. But the thing that is going to be interesting is how they go from here. They need to make a lot of fundamental changes. They need to play differently in Major 3. If they even want to even like look at like champs. Because champs is like, yes, we are only halfway through the year. But looking at current standings, Optic are in 6th. They're currently in the running for champs, but they're not in the we're basically locked for champs at this point. The people that we can look at as being locked in for champs essentially right now are honestly FaZe, Thieves, Toronto. Toronto, they perform really good on LAN. LA Thieves, they're LA Thieves. FaZe, they're FaZe. Those 3 teams are the only ones that I'm genuinely looking at are actually locked for champs. Even Toronto, they could fall off, but right now Joe Deceives is just on a completely different level. But so going back to Optic, though, they need to look at making a change. They need to look at doing something fundamentally different in order to get themselves back up to their top 4 percentage that they're at, where they should be as a team. It might come with Skies and Hook. It might not. I don't know. But either way, the green wall is imploding right now over these Rostermania changes, and I think it is hilarious. The drama ensues, and the green wall implodes. That's basically the biggest Rostermania change right now, what to be expecting. And whether or not we're going to be seeing more from that, that's probably what I will be expecting. I'm anticipating more teams to implode. But I would be shocked if things went. I don't think this will make a big difference for Optic unless like Duke and Skies' mentality just helps. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm planning on giving more Rostermania updates. I want to get this channel back up and running because I am looking at getting back into casting, so I will be doing that. Make sure you guys are subscribed to this channel so that we are keeping all up-to-dates on any and all Rostermania things that comes. If you want to see other random gaming content, my other channel is linked down below. Go ahead and check that out. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day.